From the very first day, Alina knew this school would be a war zone. She had barely taken 3 steps into the hallway of Roswell High when a boy shoulder-checked her hard enough to drop her bag. Not a single student stopped. No apologies, no help, just laughter echoing behind her as she scrambled to collect her books from the floor. Alina was the new girl again. Her family had moved to 6 cities in the last 4 years, trying to escape the haunting past of her father's death and her mother's breakdown. This time, her mother promised things would be different. This time, they wouldn't run. But Alina wasn't so sure. Her first few days were quiet. She sat alone in the cafeteria, ate in silence, and stared out windows during breaks. She didn't mind the isolation, it was familiar, even comforting. But that peace shattered when she caught the attention of Brielle and her gang. Brielle was the queen bee, rich, cruel, and feared. Wherever she walked, heads turned. And if she didn't like you, the entire school didn't either. Alina never meant to cross her. One rainy morning, as Alina hurried through the halls with her hoodie up, she accidentally bumped shoulders with Brielle. Coffee spilled. Screams followed. The hallway fell into a hush as Brielle stood, soaked and fuming. "You think you can walk through this school without knowing who I am?" she sneered. "What are you, some kind of street mutt?" Alina muttered an apology, but Brielle wasn't interested in words. That moment sparked something cruel. From then on, Alina became a daily target. Locker doors slammed on her hands. Her shoes went missing in gym class. Rude notes filled her desk. But the worst came one afternoon in front of the entire cafeteria. Brielle and her 2 friends cornered Alina, forced her onto her hands and knees, and tossed scraps of food at her feet. "If you're going to act like a dog, might as well eat like one," Brielle laughed. The cafeteria roared with laughter. Phones recorded. No teachers stepped in. Alina's face burned with shame. She got up, quietly gathered her things, and left the room without saying a word. But inside her, something shifted. That night, she stared at herself in the mirror. Her eyes weren't filled with tears, they were calm, calculating. She walked over to her closet, pulled out an old photo buried in a box. It showed her as a child, standing next to her father in a Judo gi, smiling proudly. She remembered the dojo, the hours of training, her father's voice telling her, "The strongest fighter is the one who stays standing when the world tries to push them down." She hadn't trained since his death. The next day, she walked to a nearby judo center. The coach remembered her father. "You have his stance," he said. "But you've lost your fire. Let's get it back." For the next 3 months, Alina trained in secret. Every afternoon, every weekend. Her bruises weren't from bullies anymore, they came from the mat, from determination. She relearned her balance, her throws, her confidence. Back at school, the bullying continued, but Alina didn't flinch anymore. She kept her head down, endured it in silence, waiting for the moment. That moment came faster than expected. It was gym class. The coach was late, and the students were left alone in the indoor court. Brielle and her gang, bored and hungry for attention, circled Alina like vultures. "What's the matter, mutt? Lost your bark?" Brielle taunted. One of the girls tried to trip her. Another pushed her backpack to the ground. Then Brielle grabbed her by the wrist and twisted hard. Alina moved like lightning. With a swift pivot, she flipped Brielle flat onto her back with a loud thud. Gasps rang through the court. Before the others could react, Alina spun low and swept another girl's legs, sending her crashing to the floor. The last one tried to punch her. Alina caught her wrist midair and gently turned it behind her back, bringing her to her knees. It all happened in seconds. Silence filled the room. Someone dropped their phone. Brielle groaned from the floor, holding her leg, which had twisted badly in the fall. The other 2 whimpered in shock. No one laughed now. Alina stood tall, breathing steady. "Don't mistake silence for weakness," she said. "You wanted a mutt? Turns out I'm a fighter." The gym teacher finally arrived, and after seeing the chaos, and the witnesses, he sent the injured girls to the nurse and called the principal. Videos had already spread like wildfire. For the first time in months, Alina wasn't invisible. She wasn't mocked. She was respected. Of course, she got called to the office. There was an investigation. But the videos spoke for themselves. It was clear she acted in self-defense. The school put Brielle and her gang on probation and ordered counseling. Alina was offered the chance to join the school's martial arts club. She accepted. Days turned into weeks. She wasn't bullied anymore. In fact, students began sitting beside her, asking her name, inviting her to projects and lunches. She didn't say much, but her presence now carried weight. One afternoon, while packing her books, she noticed a small girl from the lower grade being laughed at for her stutter. Alina walked over, placed a hand on her shoulder, and said gently, "Come sit with me." She had come full circle. Alina never wanted revenge. What she wanted was strength, the kind that couldn't be stripped away by cruelty or fear. She didn't become a fighter to hurt others. She became one to stop running. In the end, Alina didn't just break the bullies. She broke the silence around standing up. And in doing so, she rebuilt herself.